What is going on, everybody? BobbyFi back with my man Eric Sheets-Haber. We are we're going to focus on NBA tonight, but obviously we're both a little distracted by the golf this week because we sort of got off to a hot start and it sort of loops you in. It's hard to get away from when you loop it in. Also, when you get their highest owned players running away with the tournament at low ownership, it's always kind of fun.
It is,
or at least for me anyway. But yeah, lots of good stuff out there, and a good slate in NBA tonight. I didn't play heavy last night, as usual. Got a couple things right, a couple things wrong. Sheets, anything for you? And
yeah, I told you I did decently last night. I made some money. So this is really funny. So I made some money on whatchamacallit, on Fanduel in my single entries and that kind of stuff. And then on DraftKings, the same thing. I couldn't get anywhere in my MMEs, but I cashed in the big one, which was very good.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was really funny. And then I was about to kind of like not pack it in, but I pulled up FanDuel just to get my winnings, and I said winning 66,000 or something. Like, what?
Oh,
for like a brief couple of minutes, I was in first in like the three, like in the fourth quarter in the last game. But I didn't have I don't think I had anybody from that game.
Oh, man.
So I had to I ended up like 30th though, or something like that. Wow. And I had to watch Big T get first, second, third, fourth, fifth, seventh, ninth, 10th, and 12th.
Did it again?
Oh yeah, I think first, second, and fifth maybe. I'm not sure.
First of all, we did used to be friends, but personal beefs aside and everything, I'll tell you what.
Let's get hot, man.
I've said that before about him when he gets on a roll about something, and we always used to joke that we were sort of similar this way. Like you can sort of project, like it's almost like you're not even looking at the numbers anymore. You're watching the games, you're in the flow, and you're sort of going on feel. And he just crushes when he gets in that zone.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's get into it tonight. That's already an ugly way to start my morning. And not that I have anything against Big T winning. I just don't like that it happens every day. But congratulations to Big T. Regardless of what our personal relationship stands. I always like the guy, even though we have a strange history. All right, here we go.
All right.
First game. Well, I guess overall thoughts. Is there anything that you think stands out, especially about this slate?
There's a lot of shit going on.
Yeah, there is a lot of shit going on. So
starting right out of the gate. So Draymond Green legit questionable, right? If Draymond Green is legit questionable and he doesn't play, I mean, as much of a cake matchup it was going to be for Vooch already. I mean, what are they going to do? It's not exactly sure what they're going to do. I guess they're going to play. I guess they're going to have to play Pascal for openers, and then that just solves the center problem, right?
I think JTA and double teams. I also, by the way, on that Vooch podcast, just to speak to this point, one of the things he said about defenders guarding him was the hardest time he has is with the smaller, stronger defenders that can get underneath him and use his body weight against him. He finds himself turning and shooting over the top more and not near the rim like he'd like to be. Just an interesting thing from Vooch himself. So
you could play. I mean, and then like if you wanted to go back to the other value from Orlando, like back to Michael Carter. Well, now he's 5,100 now, but still, you could get all your exposure out of the first two games if you wanted to.
Interesting. I have a very different take on this slate, and maybe I just was over. Like I like Curry and I like Vooch in this first game. I don't really see the need to play anyone else unless Draymond's out.
I was kind of operating on the assumption he might be though.
I mean, I just got him questionable. I don't know what's going to happen if he's in Orlando. You'd think that if you're going to be there and you're okay, he'll play.
I guess so. Huh?
He won't. You know what I mean? It's a funny thing with the Q tags. That's one thing I've been doing a little bit more this year. Is I do feel like on the road, if I know the guys are already in the city, it makes it a little bit. But you know what? We'll find out before game time anyway. We don't need to speculate on this one. Anything else? So how else do you like to stack this game? Do you like?
I don't know. I don't know. I guess maybe not on DraftKings. Yeah, maybe not. I was just kind of playing. I was looking more to that second game, that Cleveland game a little bit. But I think if Draymond doesn't play, I think that those same two guys are back in play. I think the guy you don't want to play, Pascal's in play, and I think the guy you do want to play, Toscano Anderson's in play, and I think Oubre's in play. I mean, there's a lot of rebounds that's going to be going around there. So I don't know. So I'm keeping an eye on that. on that situation, I guess. But I guess if everybody's in, I'm kind of with you, I suppose. Vooch is probably a good play who I might not. Maybe I won't get to him. But he's definitely a good play.
Yeah, and on the other side, who the hell's guarding Steph Curry? Like that's the only thing I have here is that there's nothing that like Curry, price wise, everything doesn't necessarily make sense as a perfect play on this slate. But like this is one of those games where I feel like he could go nuts. So I don't mind if you want to just do the Vooch and Curry back and forth. And then if Draymond's out, I agree with you. I think JTA would be my favorite, Juan Toscano-Anderson. And I think that Oubre and then Wiggins even would be right behind. I actually like Wiggins a little bit at his price anyway. I think he's like playable. And, it really isn't that hard for him to get to 40. I like this matchup. I just don't see a ton of places to do a lot of business. It's just Vooch for me on the Orlando side. With a little bit of Chase on Randall if we need that value, and a little bit of Evan Fournier.
All right, fair enough. Just trying to get more excited about it than I actually was. All right, Denver, Cleveland. Let me see how excited I get about playing the same guys as before. So what's Chetty Osman, 4,800?
Yeah, I don't know why we wouldn't play him.
Chetty Osman's 4,800, and what's Garland?
5,400. I don't know why we wouldn't play him.
Yeah, so those are my two targets from there, and I think that they're both very, very good plays. What else from Cleveland do I like here? What's the deal with what am I, Seinfeld? What's the deal with Jared Allen? So Jared Allen, 6,800. I'm sure that he's going to have to play a lot, right?
You think?
You would think. So I guess he's a good play. And then on Denver, I don't know, all these guys back in. I mean, I just feel like I shouldn't even look at Denver until like 5 minutes before post time. If everybody's back, maybe I don't play anybody. Maybe I just play Jokic. But maybe I don't even play him because maybe they're better centers. You're going to have to play that New Orleans guy later at the center position, maybe. Then maybe you don't play Jokic. But I'm not too excited about the Denver guys, except what's Michael Porter Jr. going to be on Fanduel again? Is he still 5,500?
He's well, Will Barton might be back. That's going to do a little bit of that stuff, but he is 5,500 still. I would completely go back to him on. I actually don't think he's bad on both sides if Barton's out again. Even if Barton plays, look, he's gonna put up a number at some point. I do feel a little bit like it's getting thinner and thinner because I watch him play and I see a lot of frustration out of Malone and Jokic towards him. Every game he misses a rotation. He pulls up for three when Jokic has like a 5-foot guy on him on the block. It doesn't really like he's just really talented, but it doesn't feel like they know how to put it together with this team exactly. And in spurts it works, but I'm a little bit off of it personally. I mean, I'm off of it, but I love it as like a maybe a 5 or 10% play, on either side. I don't think that he's like a lock anymore. I don't think he's this guy we can expect 30 fantasy points from. But if Barton's out, obviously I'll have some more interest.
Okay.
The next game I think is actually shockingly interesting.
Okay, so you could kick it off.
All right. So Clint Capela is one of my favorite plays at first glance on the slate. I know we're going to have some center other stuff that we just talked about, even with Jokic. And the truth is that Clint Capela could put up a similar type of score to a Jokic or a Vucevic. Now he won't put up quite as many, and he won't do it as often. But let's say, I'm similar, meaning like 50 points. 50 though, he's 7,200. He's put up 43 or more 3 games in a row, including against this team the other night. The minutes seem to be more secure back in there. His rebounding numbers are absolutely through the roof. He has had 1 rebounding game with less than 11 rebounds in his last 25 games. He's a walking double-double. That's 30 fantasy points right there. Not to mention you add the block, steal, and rebound and scoring upside. Basically, you can get to 50 here pretty easily. It's a pretty clear route, especially. And look, it's better if Tice wasn't going to be there, but Tice is back. It's still fine. It doesn't make that much of a difference. I just think he's a fantastic play. He's one of my priority guys at the moment. And I also like mixing in. Now, it doesn't always feel good to say that maybe to guys who are one lineup users, but so I just want to throw out, there's 3 guys who I think are very much in play. We've you hit on the Cam Reddish thing the other night. I hit on Cam Reddish this year. He got me deep in a tournament. He's put up 25, 30, and 29 and a half, and he's still 4,500. And I just think he's kind of an interesting, and again, promise you, zero ownership, including, by the way, against this team, he just put up that 6x or 6.5x. Is it the perfect value? No, but people aren't going to play it because of that. I think Gallinari also, I see a path to 30 points, fantasy points for one of Gallinari, Reddish, and Kevin Huerter. I just, I don't have a decided preference, except for I think position-wise, I like Gallinari, and ownership-wise and everything else considered, I guess I like Reddish. But Kevin Huerter is a fine play as well. This Boston team looks messy, sloppy, which actually, and I want to run it back. I mean, we don't know what Jaylen Brown's status is, which will change everything. But Jason Tatum and Kemba Walker, that's I mean, I like all of them. I think they're all guys I have immediately at plus 20%. I have Tatum as my highest owned because I watched them play that last game against Atlanta, and I thought he looked pretty bad for the most part. He had spurts where he looked good, and that's the second of that back-to-back, and worried about the COVID stuff because he'd been playing pretty poorly since the COVID. But he put up 55.5 fantasy points in that matchup. So it'll probably, now like you have Kemba back, and Atlanta's been the worst team in the NBA. It's no shocker with Trae Young out there guarding the one. So I don't mind which way you want to go, but all these guys I have in my initial script at over 20%, and I have Capela at over 30%.
Yeah, you kind of took the words right out of my mouth with a little bit of a qualifier in there. I played Capela last time this team played Boston, and he did very, very well. But I remember giving him an extra boost because Tice was out. And he is back, and I know, and you're telling me it doesn't make that much of a difference. Yeah, maybe not. And certainly his price is still incredibly cheap. So I think all else being equal, I still like Capela. I'm just kind of talking through it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Again, as I'm looking ahead, I mean, I see the center position. You're probably going to want to jam in the $3,900 guy later, though. So maybe you use Capela in utility. That's possible. But yeah, he's definitely my favorite guy from Atlanta. I'm Gallinari is he's cheap, right? But is he gonna? You think he has got a shot for 30 fantasy points?
I do. I think he didn't get his full minutes until last week they started playing him the minutes. In those games, you got the 2 for 12s in there, the 3 for 13s in there, like last time against this team. But then if you look at the game where he actually made his shots, he put up 32 against Indiana. He put up 26 against Toronto, and he just 4 for. I mean, he's going to get some rebounds. He's going to do some things. I think that his shooting gives him the upside to be in play at 43. Is it the most exciting play? No. And I could actually argue on the other side, maybe Tice is just as good of a play. But I do think one of these Atlanta guys it just seems to happen that way every time. I do lean a little, I guess I would lean Reddish if not for the position scarcity. Oh no, Reddish, I'm sorry, Reddish is now a small forward. Excuse me. Wow, I didn't even catch things early in the morning. I actually think that Reddish would be my answer then, slightly over Gallinari. But I do like both, and I don't love them. They're 10% guys for me.
I definitely think that all those Boston skill players are in play. Kemba, Jaylen Brown, and Tatum. I'm with you. I'm not been impressed with Tatum's post-COVID energy. But Jaylen Brown still looks good to me at 7,900. He's probably my favorite of those three.
Yeah, the problem is he always is my favorite because of the price and everything. And then I'm just having trouble with him never getting there these days. And it's sometimes it's different reasons, but he's even shooting the ball well. And it's kind of hard to figure out. But it's weird. The nights where he shoots the ball well, he doesn't pass the ball. And he's not a selfish player. It's not like that. It's he's probably trying to hunt shots because he's hot. But it doesn't he hasn't had that balance. We were with him between 40 and 65 every night at the beginning of the year. And these were games without Kemba, some of them. So with Kemba coming back, I think he's the third favorite for me. I think that as of right now, Tatum would be the number one, assuming that he plays just barely ahead of Kemba. And if no Jaylen Brown, I want some Kemba. I want a ton of Kemba. And this is a really good game. This game is actually going to play really fast. I know people are used to Boston being slow. It's not going to play that way. This is going to be a high scoring game. And one thing about the Tice thing I want to address, when I thought more about the matchup, I actually think that it doesn't, like, two things. One, I don't think Tice is a good defender. I don't think he's anything like out of this world. But if you think about Tice, wouldn't he make more sense to match up a little bit with Collins? Like, the only thing that worries me about Tice and Capela directly is that Tice shoots like half of his shots from 3-point range, which is odd because he's like a 40% free throw shooter. But he shoots half of his shots from 3-point range. That takes Capela away from the basket. But there's nothing going to stop Capela from getting 15 rebounds most nights. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
That's sort of me thinking it out. All right. You ready to move on to Detroit and Memphis?
Oh, is that one next? No, I have Chicago, Philly next.
Oh, I'm sorry. My fault. I skipped it.
So here's something I just wanted to kind of keep an eye on. So in Chicago's last game, when they played Detroit, they were down 20 or something like that at the half. And in the second half, they benched Kobe White to start and ran out what's his name, Satoransky. And then, I mean, they did end up closing with Kobe White later, but I thought that was kind of interesting. And they did come back from a 20-point deficit to win. I would not be. Look, if 15 minutes to post time, you hear Satoransky starting for Kobe White, I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know how that would even affect my take on the game, if you want to know the truth. But I'm just saying that's.
What was your argument there, Sheets? I'm sorry, I kind of thought what you're saying that Kobe White didn't play. Can you say that again?
Kobe White got benched to start the second half when they were down 20, and Satoransky came out in his place, and they ended up coming back from 20 down to win the game. I'm just saying that it's possible.
It's an interesting point.
That Satoransky goes to the starting lineup. Kobe White goes to the bench. Kobe White probably still plays the same 30 minutes.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. I don't think it's going to change anything necessarily.
And Kobe White, by the way, may very well still close. You know.
Right, and he did in this game too.
Yeah,
they brought him back in the last couple of minutes.
To me, that actually would make me like Sato a little bit, but I also would like Kobe White a little bit in that.
Yeah, I know. That's why
I think it's a clever, like, if you get Kobe White, take away the Levine usage, you know what I mean? Boy, oh boy, off the bench, he could be. I mean, Kobe White's already in the 20s, like, you know, almost mid 20s lately in usage, and he could be in the 30s off the bench for a part of the game, or sometimes at 40, probably at 40 without Levine in there.
So I figured I would just throw that in there. And then with respect to the actual plays, I kind of remain the same with respect to these high minutes, low usage guys. I'm not, like, if I have to play Garrett Temple, I will, but I'd rather not have to, if that makes any sense. Like, he's 4K, gonna play minutes, and we'll probably get there. I'd rather not have to play him, but he's certainly a respectable value. Satoransky, Kobe White, we talked about a little bit. They're fine. Zach Levine, again, 10% a night, I suppose. And that's where I'm at on Chicago. Philly, again, you just never know who's playing, man. So just keep an eye out. I don't know if Seth Curry's playing. I don't know if I really don't know if anybody's playing. If everybody's playing, I guess Embiid's a good play. Simmons, Harris, I suppose. Danny Green's only 3,700. It's not a guy we like to play that much, but he's only 3,700. So I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. I just want to say I have to use this time every time to give 30 seconds on Zach Levine. He is having, so every criticism about him historically ever, which, by the way, has always been overhyped and overdone. He's actually rating as a league average defender right now to slightly better. And he has some upside on that defensive end. He's 25 years old. And this guy is shooting, his numbers are making Steph, like, they're Steph Curry numbers. They really are. He averages 28.5 a game, shooting 43% from 3-point range, which I believe is better than Steph. Steph's at 45, or near 45 now, but better than everyone except for Steph, who's shooting this many threes. He's shooting 8 a game, and he's shooting 43.7%. He's shooting overall, he has a chance at the 50-40. He's not going to get to 90 because he's 85% at the line right now, but he's 85% at the line. He's 50 from the floor overall, and 43% from 3-point range. These are unbelievable numbers. These are not, there's everybody else who we're talking, Kevin Durant, all these guys, their numbers aren't even, I mean, Durant's are closer, but he's not even a 40% free 3-point shooter. Neither is Harden. Harden's right around 40%. I mean, this is incredible what Zach Levine's doing. And I'm segueing into the fact that, this spot happened. I'm looking at this a little bit like I wanted to look at that game between the Wizards and Philly early in the season. In my opinion, as good as great a defender as Ben Simmons is, and he was guarding more of Westbrook in that game, and some of the other pieces sort of helping on defense. But the way you want to beat Philly is through the outside because Embiid in down low. And this is one of those games where, we had the 60-point game from Bradley Beal that nearly won me the $250K that I sort of haven't recovered from emotionally or financially since. But Zach Levine sort of fits that same kind of a mold in this spot, should be low owned. So I'm willing to double down on the Dean or go 20% of Zach Levine tonight, maybe even a little bit higher. And I don't mind running it back with Embiid, who we mentioned the other centers. He could easily be the highest scoring one, and even ahead of Jokic, who's right in the same price range. Probably will have lower ownership because of it. Ben Simmons should be back tonight. And Embiid just feels like he's going to put 55 to 65 up. But I don't think you need to even necessarily run it back. I really just want to focus on the Levine play is all I've got right now. And I don't mind the other guy I want to take a shot on here. Especially if I was going to try and play Embiid, although you can't because then you have to play them both at center. But I think Wendell Carter has got upside in his minutes now. We've got 2 games back from him from the injury. They had a couple days off. And now you've got him, he played 27 minutes in the last game, and we've got him projected around 24, 25 throughout the industry. I think that could be 28. And if that gets to be 28, even if it doesn't, he's still a really good fantasy point per dollar play. He also can take Embiid away from the basket a little bit and shoot from 3. So I do have Carter as one of my 50 centers today.
Yeah.
Anything to throw in there?
No.
Okay. All right. I feel like I have to do the Zach Levine thing. Not only is he a Bruin, but I always defend him, and I think he deserves being defended. I think he's been phenomenal this year, and if he's not he's an all-star for sure. All right, Detroit, Memphis. What do you got for me?
I think this game is I don't know if I'd say sneaky or not, but I like this game. I like Valanciunas. I like Morant. I like what's his name? Jeremy Grant from Detroit. And then Dylan Wright, he's pretty cemented his role over there for at least a little while. And then I just threw him in right now. He's not a guy I like to play, but I just want to say that Wayne Ellington's 3,100. And I don't know. I think that all the guys, the aforementioned, all make sense. And I like playing those guys. I like playing Valanciunas. I like playing Morant. I like playing Grant. I like playing these 7K guys in general. So you put a bunch of them together that project pretty decently, and you get them all kind of hitting on the same day, and you could be in business.
So I have a little bit of an issue with Grant these days, because I understand, like, I'm happy to see you taking 25 shots, and even better when he makes 15 of them like he did the other night. But to get all of that to get you to 48, you know how that happens? That happens when you don't rebound. It happens when you don't get any assists. He had 0 assists in the last game. Usually he's going to get you a couple assists, 2 to 4 assists, I would say, is what you could expect from him. 1 to 3 stocks, steals and blocks. And he used to be a guy who he'd at least get you 6 or 7, 8, 9, maybe 10 rebounds. He's not rebounding at all. I don't know exactly what's happening with the way that they're doing everything. I might need to watch a little closer, but the rebound numbers are like shockingly low, which really, really makes him have to be more efficient. And he's not an efficient scorer, like, at all. He's actually extremely inefficient. So I have interest because the price and the usage should be there. I like the matchup fine, but it feels a little fishy. And then again, he could come out and get those rebounds back. I just don't understand why they've gone away without Blake, without these guys. I mean, I know Plumlee's been better. I know Sadiq Bey's in the lineup now, but why are you getting 2 rebounds, 3 rebounds every night? It just makes me uncomfortable. And I actually think DeLon Wright is probably every bit as much in play as Jeremy Grant is. He's been good. Doesn't going to blow you away and put up maybe 50 or 60. He did it once, but could get you 40, I think, in this matchup fairly consistently. He's going to play an absolute ton of minutes. I think the 34 minutes he's projected for, if this game's close, he could play like 40. His minutes shouldn't be less than Grant to me. He played 39 the last game. Wayne Ellington's minutes are sort of cut now, so I can't. I don't.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize
He
that.
hasn't played more than 21. I actually think if you're gonna take a shot on one of those guys, it'd be Svi over him probably for me. But
Okay.
but the real play is look, if we're mass entering, I'm not saying I'm playing 150, but I will promise you that, and I haven't been doing it as much as I initially thought, and probably I won't today because always better.
I'm going to put him in before you tell me who. Okay.
You know who I'm going to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah, DSJ.
Oh, I thought you meant Josh Jackson.
No, Josh Jackson is definitely like in play-ish.
Ooh, DSJ. There
DSJ
it is.
Is the brain just
there it is.
We really think they're going to keep playing him 16 minutes a night? Do we really think that?
Hey, you're preaching to the choir. Like you said, you're going to give your same Zach Levine rant every time Zach Levine's. I'm going to give my same DSJ rant. I mean, it's not as though he's like some 40-year-old freaking dude. You know what I mean? Like why trade for him and not play him? It's not like they have it's not like DeLon Wright is Steph Curry. You know what I mean? Like you gotta. Right. I'm with you. I just don't know why they haven't done it already.
I kind of agree. Yeah, I don't know why they haven't done it already either. Partly they were playing a little bit better basketball and maybe we're seeing what they got, but I could see Svi and Ellington losing minutes to him, and I could see DeLon Wright moving over to the 2 and playing with him. I'm not saying he's going to start or anything, but if for some reason he does start, look out. Like
he's just a stone lock, right?
I mean, it's going to be well. The only problem with it is he does have high variance no matter what, but he can put up like that variance goes like from 0 to.
You know what? I'll be more than happy to let variance come and get me at 3,200.
Yeah, especially for that guy because we've seen DSJ play. His variance is like he misses like 10 shots in a row and they pick him out of the game. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's not that he's not active. All right, but on the other side, what's wrong with the projections for Ja? Sheets, can I ask you that question?
I don't know. He's going to get 50, right? I mean, like
he's going to get 40 plus, and he's projected. He's not projected at 40 anywhere I see, and I don't really understand exactly why. I think you're going to just see 40s and 50s out of this guy pretty consistently. I love him in this matchup. He's one of the other guys.
I'll just let you know that I put up 1, 2, 3, 5 different 4 different projection models. None of them have him over 40, and yet he scores 40 every game.
Yep. Exactly. And Bane is coming back, so you could argue maybe that cuts in like. It's not like they're trying to make room to give Ja less minutes for Bane. Like they will play these guys, and if the bench is rolling, they'll let them keep rolling.
Okay. Listen. I'll put it to you another way. If they want to keep Morant's projections under 40, if they want to keep him at 8%, which is what I see him right here. If they want to make Valanciunas, and you can talk me off if you want.
I'm actually like.
If you want to leave him at 7,100 and make him 8% owned. For good reason. I mean, look, there's Capela's a good play. Hernan Gomez. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like he's like the only player you play, but I'll try it.
I have a hard time fading. I'm totally into this. I like the Valanciunas part too, but I don't know that I want. First of all, I like Ja enough to where I don't think I need to play them both together in a matchup that's sort of like Detroit's bad defensively, but they're kind of not like fast team. They're kind of slow. But I do like both of them. I just think that the Ja thing, like it may not work every night. And by the way, you look in they have the ceiling projections on some of these sites and you see them at 49, 51. Yeah. I'm like, what the hell are they talking about? Like,
but I always say when people say, ceiling projection is 49 or whatever, I say, okay, what about for the second half?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, look, he just got a back-to-back, just had, 4 for 14 shooting. He put up 51. You can give me the Ja. I'll take him.
But not only that, like, and that's another issue I have with, I don't know, some content providers. But even when they put a ceiling out there, have they been seeing like what it takes to win these GPPs?
It's ridiculous.
I mean, when you put the ceiling projection out of every top play, and it ends up getting 4,000 to the tournament. You know what I mean? Like that's not. Ceiling. Is you got to break through the ceiling.
Yeah, I do want to just point the one negative on any of these guys is the Detroit's perimeter defense is definitely better, and their interior defense they're a much better defensive team without Blake Griffin and Derrick Rose. So all of their old defensive numbers, maybe I should take a little bit more of a grain of salt, because individually, DeLon Wright is a decent defender. And by the way, it is a revenge matchup for DeLon Wright a little bit. I'll throw that out there.
Okay, fair enough.
So anyway, just yeah, that game has some interesting pieces for a not exciting total. Next one.
Yeah, I'm part of the reason why I did decently last night is, well, and it's the same reason I didn't do as well as I thought. Remember, I told you I played the Toronto guys. I played Powell and Van Vliet or whatever, and instead of running it back with Giannis, I ran it back with Middleton. And yeah, Middleton did Middleton things to me again yesterday.
Best case would have been run it back with neither, actually.
Yeah, I had one lineup with Lopez. It was okay, you know, but
Yeah.
But the thing is, and this is the, if you're ever thinking of like fading Giannis, I mean, like literally, like I thought like he was snowflaking the whole game, and he still might have ended up with like 50. You know what I mean? Like
53, yeah.
Guy's ridiculous. I mean, now it helped that they played. I mean, they played him. You know what I mean? They really wanted to come back in that game. But all right. Anyway, I do think, well, it's kind of stupid to say, but I do think that this is a game where, you know, they take care of business.
They better.
If they take care of business, I mean, I think that Giannis gets 28 minutes. I mean, I do. But they better, like you said. And OKC has been defying that against other teams. I guess I'll start. I guess I'll start with them. I like Shea. He's but the thing is, he's like the only guy on DraftKings I think's priced where I could play him. Presuming everybody's playing as I think that everybody's playing. So I like Shea, and then I'm Milwaukee. Boy, yeah. I mean, well, Giannis, you can start with him. This is one of those things where I do think that if you want to play Giannis, I do think you probably need to play Shea, at least.
I don't agree with that at all.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, Milwaukee's been the worst team in the NBA, right? They've lost 5 in a row. They're the coldest team in the NBA.
So you think that this game could stay close?
Look, we were worried about yesterday's game staying close, and they got run out of the building basically with a little bit of the reason it wasn't even.
What about the Toronto team defense?
No, I mean, maybe, hey, give some credit, whatever, but they've lost 5 in a row. That's pretty incredible.
All right, so let's talk about something good then. We could say all right. Bryn Forbes is 3,600. Brooke Lopez is 4,200. Brooke Lopez is 4,200. I'm going to say that again. And if I wasn't clear about that, Brooke Lopez is 4,200. Chris Middleton just destroyed everybody's souls yesterday, but he's only 7,600. Yeah, I maybe go right back to all these guys. So you'll play Giannis anyway, huh?
I mean, yeah, they need to win games.
Yeah.
That when players get that in their mind and you're an elite player, that's your job. You're supposed to.
Yeah, I guess so.
And win games. So I don't see any kind of defense from OKC that it's not going to stop Giannis from having a big game here. I don't know that I end up with him everywhere. I do think, and again, Cheats, I don't want to discount the blowout risk. I just want to throw it out in case we weren't keeping track of the actual games. Milwaukee is really struggling, like really badly. And I'm not saying they're going to shake things up, but I certainly could see, I mean, they kind of already have done this a little bit. I mean, Brooke Lopez only played 20 minutes last night. So if Brooke Lopez plays 20 minutes, I don't care if he's 3K. Like, I mean, I guess if he's 3K, then maybe consider him. But I don't know. I actually think it feels like if you're going to play the blowout angle, play Bobby Portis. And the regular game, my only interest is really, I do still have a little interest in Brooke Lopez, but I don't know how much they're really going to need him in this game. So it's not that much.
Okay.
I actually think Connaughton is probably just about as good a play, and I slightly prefer Connaughton. Okay. He had a rough game last night, but the minutes are just. I mean, he played 30 minutes again. He gets run in the blowouts. He gets run in every which way, and he's got it up. He's got upside. I just don't think I'm gonna get to he or Forbes though that much really on this slate. I just think there's other options, man, and this is not a great spot. I do think them having to win. Maybe the answer is as simple as just taking shots on both Giannis and Middleton, who's really been struggling, man. But we've seen Middleton go through stretches like this and then bust out of it pretty easily. It's just I don't know. He can't shoot the ball right now, and he's not doing any of the other stuff that he was doing when Drew first left. But yeah, I still have interest in both Giannis and Middleton, who could easily crush these price tags. I don't really like anybody from OKC. Shea, sure. Not for me, probably. I don't.
DiVincenzo had a nice game.
Yeah, he's been fine, but I don't think we want to play him on a big slate. Like, he had a good game to play him on that slate. Maybe maybe I'm overlooking him a little bit. Maybe you're right. Maybe you could play a little bit of DiVincenzo. He's been pretty solid lately. But I don't like love any of these other spots. I really just like Giannis and Middleton a little bit, and Bobby Portis as a long shot play.
All right, you want to move on?
Yes.
Exactly.
All right.
All right. So Phoenix, Indiana. Not a lot of value is jumping out at me right off the bat here. No, I'm sorry, Phoenix, New Orleans, up from the Phoenix side. Just kind of like gazing through. I don't really see all that much. I have this weird feeling that I'm missing something, but Ayton, Paul, I guess, Crowder, just nothing really. On the New Orleans side, though, I mean, you're going to get Willie Hernan-Gomez at like 100% ownership, I think. So it's kind of tough for me to fade that, if you want to know the truth. So I in a weird way, I think I just want to play him and just screw the rest of the game.
I like this game. I think this game is, I don't know if it's the highest total on the slate, but it probably should be right there if it's not the highest.
What do we like?
Chris Paul. You don't hear me say that very often. I'll just go back.
Something must be wrong with my volume control here. Did you say Chris Paul?
I know it's a little bit unusual. I will point out that he's put up 47 or more in 3 of the last 4 games. He is going back to New Orleans, his old place that he literally lights up every time he goes there.
Oh, is that true?
Yeah, but I mean, again, it's a little different without the fans and all the old. And the players are different now, so I don't know how much that still factors in. But I like to look for what I can, so I have him on my list. I also love the pace in this matchup. The problem is for Phoenix, like New Orleans has been just terrible defensively. They're playing lightning quick. Everybody here is has this is ceiling game type of environment. I actually think my favorite play though. I'm going to take some shots on DeAndre Ayton. I don't care how he's been awful for fantasy. I don't know what they're doing with him. I don't know why they don't feed him the ball more. I don't know why he doesn't get double-digit shots every night. I really don't. And I mean, like there are other mouths, but I guess my favorite guy for this game environment, and especially because we talked about him last time, and I said you can't play him because he's out of the starting lineup and his minutes are cut. Well, they jumped him back into the starting lineup, and now we've got Jay Crowder at 4,800, and that seems very reasonable to me. 30 fantasy points in this kind of a matchup shouldn't be that hard for him to get to in his 30 plus minutes. It was when he was down in the 24-minute range I didn't like him. So at 4,800, I do like Jay Crowder. And New Orleans side, yeah, it's going to be hard.
You like Zion again?
It's going to be hard not to. I mean, I like what they're doing with Zion. I think that they're literally just like, I mean, forcing him to be him, to be forceful. They're having him bring the ball up. You know what I mean? His assist numbers are decent. The only thing that's not there for him is the rebounds. But it's kind of because they're playing him almost like a point. Like, it's really interesting how they run their offense. Yeah, I think Zion. So Hernan-Gomez, I don't know what we're supposed to do and how we're supposed to just fade him off the top. Like, it seems hard to do. So
there's 100 guys you could play in other positions. I wouldn't. That's me. I wouldn't.
But I've been the one preaching for him that he's in play with what's his name out. Like with Steven Adams playing his last games, he put up 33 and 27.
That's what right. So
Steven Adams is gone.
No, I know. I'm saying that you have to play him.
Oh yeah, it's hard. I think there's a bunch of other guys. They said there's a bunch of other guys.
No, in other positions. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like you could chalk with him and get different everywhere else.
Oh yeah. It's really.
That's all I'm saying. I can't fade that.
Oh, you're on the same page as me. Okay. Yeah. At first glance, that's what I saw. Again, I'm always going to mention Josh Hart because I love his activity level, and I think he always. I know it's funny to say that because he's actually pretty consistently in the same range for fantasy points, but then he'll just explode. And he's 4,400, so he's on my list. And then, yes, I will definitely play some Zion here. I don't know how much I'll end up with by the end of the day, but I like this game, so it'll be some. And Brandon Ingram is starting to get to the point where once he gets down to the 8K ish and lower, I feel like he's a better play. But the problem is he hasn't really flashed that ceiling in a while on a big slate. You're going to want that ceiling, obviously. So it's going to go obviously Hernan Gomez followed by Zion with a little bit of Ingram and then a little bit of Hart.
Gotta have Hart.
Got to have some heart in this game. So they tell me.
Okay. So Toronto, Minnesota. So I don't know what's the deal with Kyle Lowry in this particular game. I can't. Oh, he is already out?
I think, I have him. I have no projections on him. So
I have no projections on him either.
Then I would assume that he's probably out. Now they are, and they are coming off of a monster win without him. So maybe they don't need to rush him.
That would be my logic, is that if they didn't need him, you know what I mean? Like if they got away with that yesterday, may as well just rest him today too.
Yeah.
So I like a couple of things in this game. I back to back this, back to back that. Right back with those main guys.
Yeah.
And that's the main guy. Well, the main guys on a 3-game slate are different than the main guys on the 80-game slate. So I like Van Vliet a lot. I like Siakam a lot. I think you have to play both. I mean, at least one of them in all your lineups, I think.
Okay.
And then I'm just going to say, maybe not on a 10-game slate or whatever, but just Norman Powell is just always awesome whenever I play him. That's the best I can describe it. I don't know if I'm going to get to it tonight, but he's going to, he's good. Boucher, I'm not going to play today. The other guy from this game is maybe it's time. Maybe I know you've been taking stabs, but maybe we can maybe get Cat there on a day where one of the center positions on DraftKings is taken up by a 70% owned guy. Maybe instead of playing the better plays like Capela, maybe Giannis, maybe you spend up for Cat in this game. And get there.
Yeah, I can get behind it. I mean, so he did do it finally. He did it the other night. He put up.
50. Oh, he did. Oh, I didn't even realize.
No, but that's okay though. No one's going to play him anyway. He put up 53 against Indiana. As I've pointed out a million times, if you want to find a big man and get them healthy, just for whatever reason, play them against Indiana. I know their center is going to be like all defensive player of the year, and I know Sabonis is big and strong, but for some reason they just get crushed by every pick. Yeah, I'm very into Cat tonight. I don't know how this is going to work because I like too many different centers, as we've talked about. Yep. But this guy does offer some serious savings, and when Cat is healthy, now he's not quite the Jokic and Embiid level in terms of production, but he's not far off. He's actually probably right near where Embiid is on average production. Like we would see Cat in this spot most of the time, and especially in this matchup too. You would think that he would be projected for 50 plus fantasy points. And that not being the case, I don't really know if I agree with it. I also think that it's interesting that he played a back-to-back, and he played 38 minutes on the back-to-back, on the second of the back-to-back. Now, there was overtime in that game, but the fact that he could go for 33 minutes in regulation on the back-to-back makes me feel good enough to bump his minutes up to 34. And if I bump him up to 34, all of a sudden he looks like an even better play. So he's the guy I have the most interest in the Minnesota side, and I agree that you probably are going to want one of those guys between Van Vliet and Siakam. I think it's Van Vliet is the obvious one, although Siakam has been really good lately. It's hard with Norman Powell on this slate, and I just want to say, even last night when he played great, he shot 9 of 12 from the floor, made 4 out of his 7 threes. It's a lot, and he still put up 44, which is good. But at 6,200 on DraftKings, I don't know that's the right play tonight. I just don't. It feels like a lot of things have to break your way for that to work. That's my only thought. But I do think that we have to get back into the DeAndre Bembry conversation. It's just too many minutes. I know he sucks. He and Connaughton probably hurt my lineups more than anybody last night. But he's projected to play 34 minutes, and he played 36 yesterday. I don't know, Sheets. Obviously they played well with him on the court. The usage isn't great, but he's 3,100. I don't know. It seems hard to fade to me. Hard to ignore. 3,100 for 34 minutes.
Yeah, I'm in it. I
Okay.
mean, that's fine.
And then shouldn't we be playing some Anthony Edwards as a GPP play? He shot 3 of 15 in the last game, but the game before against the Lakers, he lit him up for 51.
I don't know. Hashtag team defense.
Okay. All right. But yeah, Cat is definitely the. I love that pivot. I love that tournament play for Cat. I don't know if we even need to be so creative, but it's not like you're taking a bad play. He's a great play. Speaking of great plays, who do we like in this Utah Clippers game? And do we know at all what's happening?
In the Utah Clipper game. Well, again, you don't know
Anything.
You don't know anything. Oh, and by the way, hold on a minute. Hold on. What was the score of the game that they played?
Oh, Utah won by like 100.
Did they? You sure?
They killed them.
Okay.
I think, right?
No, I don't think that's true.
Well, I mean, no matter what, you're wrong. They definitely covered the spread. So they're 21 of 22 in their last 22.
I'm just going to see this really quickly because I thought that they were hanging in there.
They won by 18.
Yeah, they won by 18. You're right.
And it was controlled. Yeah, nobody's touching them lately. Like, I mean, literally, like they haven't played. That's why all these numbers are like even could be so much higher. That's why Gobert's price is 7,300 when he could be 80.
It was a really gross first half. I remember that. Both teams were under. I think that the total was under 100. Was under 100 the first half. It was really ugly, and then I guess Utah just was just better with Clippers having no players. Yeah, I'm just gonna wait and see who's in. I mean, honestly, I think it's kind of silly. I mean, like I said, I'll give the same take I had before. If Kawhi plays, I'll play Kawhi. If he doesn't play,
what if Paul George plays also?
Right. So if they both play, you want to try to stack the game, play them both?
Oh no, I don't want either of them.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it would be Paul George. Well, I don't know. It depends on what minutes we would expect to get back for Paul George. No, I don't know why we're trying to attack Utah exactly. Like, I think that you're off on something with this Utah team. They are the best team in the NBA. They've been by far the best team in the NBA. It's not even
right now. I don't like anybody on I don't like anybody on the Clippers right now. And then on Utah, I mean, I'm just trying to just talk here. And then Utah, I don't like anybody there either. You know who I like? I like, again, back to the battle of the $7,300 centers, right? Is that really true? He's only 7,300?
Yeah.
Oh, crap.
That's how you can get different. You can play two centers, 73, something like that, and skip Hernangomez. The problem is Hernangomez could put up the same score these guys do.
Well, there's 100 different 7,300 guys you could play. I mean, who's better? Gobert, Valanciunas, or Capela?
Capela would be my first instinct, but Gobert getting full run, like 34 minutes and 36 instead of.
Hey, have they been giving Derek Favors minutes at 3,300?
No.
Okay.
I mean, 15, 16, nothing.
Okay.
We can't play him at center anyway. Like you can't use another center spot.
Nope. Fair enough.
But
obviously watch Conley. See if he's playing.
Yeah, if Conley's out, I definitely have interest in Mitchell and Clarkson. I mean, Clarkson just like first of all, the 2 nights ago he put up 48, 40 real life points, and then he shoots 7 for 23, and you're like, oh, he must have had a terrible game. He puts up 32 in that game with 7 of 23 from the floor, 23 shots. This guy's shooting the ball. His last games, 19, 15, 18, 15, 20, 23. I mean, without Conley, he's shooting, and we know that ceiling can get there for Mitchell, even though he can be, obviously, as you acknowledged, a frustrating roster at times. But the thing is, the other night when I got the Clipper news, whatever players I had left, I switched over to Clippers. By the way, it's odd that with all those guys out, everybody out, not one Clipper got there. Not one Clipper came close to 5X, which is like almost impossible.
Oh my God.
I still would take shots if I knew all these other guys were out, but I would have to get that news early. And sadly, I might be under-owning this game. The one thing I'm trying to figure out is what the hell is going on with Serge Ibaka? Why aren't they playing him minutes?
I think the whole season.
No, but he's played well. That's the thing that doesn't make sense to me. He's playing well, and they're not giving him any minutes. Are they just saving for the playoffs? Maybe that's possible. But it's like almost like they have a hard cap on these things. And other than the one game where he got the 29, where the first game Kawhi and PG were out, he really hasn't played the minutes. And honestly, Zubac's minutes are pretty much the same in line. And it's frustrating because I would like Serge. I would like Serge and thinking that he would match up. And even though it's Gobert, they're just so cheap right now. But I think mostly this game, yeah, I guess to stay away if we assume the guys are going to play. If we hear anything, hopefully it'll be before lock, because I don't think that we need to reserve our lineups like we did the other night. I just don't think anybody's priced in a where I know they're going to crush. You know what I mean?
I'm telling you, I don't think I'm going to have much of anything in that game.
I don't think a lot of people will. That's the only reason I'm sort of trying to stay on it so long.
Yeah, I'll be sitting there just rooting for overtime in the Toronto game probably.
All right, that sounds good to me.
You know you're getting me into, by the way. Now that I just announced that I might be rooting for overtime in the Minnesota game, Toronto game. Maybe we should be playing some Anthony Edwards, huh?
Yeah. I think just with the number of shots he gets up, we kind of have to.
Yeah.
I don't love I know I was sort of off of it, and I was right. I think I was even right for a while. But when the guy actually flashes the ceiling and does start looking better and is playing back-to-backs and playing well on everything is sort of coming into form, and it's actually probably benefiting him to have Cat on the court. So yeah, Anthony Edwards should get a little bit if we want some run back on that game. Yeah, I think that's pretty much. Oh, by the way, the one other guy we didn't talk about in that same game that I think you can get little pieces of is Jared Vanderbilt. I could see him actually thriving in this.
Yeah, he's been doing nicely.
Yeah, he struggled the last time out, but before that had been pretty good the last couple games in a row, even with Cat there. So, but it doesn't surprise me he struggled against Sabonis. Now he's got. I think he got in foul trouble too. Yeah, I like this matchup a little bit for them. So I'm with you, man. I think we're on the same page mostly. Do you want to jump over to Fanduel and talk about some favorite plays over there at positions?
Yeah, let me just give me a second to move over there. I forgot this is the last game. So worksheet and then this and then almost there. Okay. So at I'll do point guard first.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Yeah, I mentioned earlier that Michael Carter-Williams is a better play on FanDuel. I mean, obviously, he's only 4,500 over there. So I definitely think that he's decent value. Boy, does point guard stink? No. You can get Ja at 7,100. Garland. I like Ja more than Kemba, if that helps. Maybe you just go play Curry. So that's where I'm at. So I'm at Curry for spend up, Ja mid-range, and Michael Carter-Williams for value.
Yeah, I don't know about the Carter-Williams thing personally.
He's starting a point guard at 4,500. That's not good enough? I guess not.
He's gotten there once this year, and that was against Sacramento. Golden State, they can play fast too, but look, I just, and also Ennis might be back. If Ennis is out, maybe, maybe, I don't know, man. I think Michael Carter-Williams is usually fool's gold. In some spots, I like to use him as low owner. This is a guy we used to play less for. I have some. I can see where you're coming from on FanDuel.
I'm probably not going to even play him.
He's going to be popular. It is true that he does stand out. I think Garland. I just would rather pay 900 more for Garland. I'd like to play Kemba a lot. I'd like to play Ja a lot. So I have some other guys I like quite a bit. And after that, it's again, I'll get a little bit of Chris Paul. And that's pretty much it for me. I guess the Steph Curry thing is fine still. Again, I usually like to play him better on DraftKings anyway, but he's fine over here too. He does get steals and stuff. That's pretty much all the guys I'll be using. Oh, you know what? I kind of just have to mention Rubio over here because at that price in that game, he put up 45 in the last game against Indiana. I know that was overtime, but he had 37 in regulation. At 5,300, maybe maybe Cat is helping some of these other guys boost their, upside a little bit. So I actually think Ricky Rubio is an interesting play at 5,300. He and Garland together would be an interesting kind of pairing in the lower tier if you wanted to get creative.
Garland is point guard here, right?
Yeah, and by the way, if no one's going to play Trae Young, I have no problem jumping right on Trae Young. It's you put a 56 in this matchup the other day. Should be even better today for him with Kemba. Not that he'll put up more points, but just the matchup should be better. And then if you want to get creative, you play Kobe White. But the main guys are going to be Morant, Kemba, Garland, and who was the other one I mentioned for 54? Rubio for me.
So shooting guard, Van Vliet is the best play as far as I'm concerned.
By the way, do you know what James Harden was owned on in a 3-game slate last night at shooting guard on FanDuel and the big thing?
Yep.
He was owned 16%.
Yep.
That's bizarre. I was like blown away. I didn't even look at the ownership projections. I was like, oh, he'll be 70%.
I was aware.
I was sort of shocked.
Okay. Shooting guard, I think Van Vliet's the best play. And then I actually, what happened to? Oh, he's small forward. I was gonna say I usually just goes right to the top to see Michael Porter Jr., but he's not shooting guard. Probably wouldn't play them together, but I'll not go against you, Earl, but I still like Norman Powell, presuming.
That's not going against me. I like him over here.
Yeah. So I like Powell, and then if you want to go value, you could play Seth Curry. But he is only 4K. I mean, it could
4K.
be worse.
Yeah, I mean,
Could do worse.
Okay, and I know that they were missing guys, but he did just put up 36.
And then if you wanted to, as I mentioned before, you could play Shea if you wanted to do that. But for me, the two favorite, I probably will definitely have one of these two. One of these two Toronto guys.
Yeah, I like the Toronto guys, but I prefer Curry a little bit above Powell with the savings. I also like Cam Reddish.
Okay.
And I think that's that's the play that you can get to cheap. And you mentioned it earlier about DiVincenzo. Guy's going to play the minutes. He's been good. He's been in the range you wanted him to be in. But who sort of stands out, maybe just a little bit over here, I think Colin Sexton has been really quiet with Garland back.
I was afraid you were going to say that.
But he actually has put up 40 in 2 of the last 3. It's not the most exciting play in the world.
It could be exciting, actually. I don't know.
I think it's okay. I don't love the matchup but I don't know that. I'm curious to see if Harris. I think Harris will play, obviously, but I don't know. It's just, yeah, that's pretty much all I got over here. Oh, Kevin Herter. That's the other one you want to get some exposure to. Yeah. Oh, and then I forgot my guy Levine. Obviously Levine.
All right. Moving on to small forward, Michael Porter Jr. is my favorite. Well, okay. Who's better? Who's a better play? Michael Porter Jr. or Cedi Osman? Osman's 4,200.
Yeah. Osman.
And I want to bring this guy up again, but I mean, Danny Green's 3,500.
So what does that mean exactly when you say that?
I don't know. It doesn't mean anything, I guess. It doesn't mean a thing. Just that he's cost $3,500. I guess that's best.
Zach, so he'll probably get more shots. That's the only way he gets shots is if someone else is getting him shots.
Who could actually be a good play? Well, first of all, Middleton is definitely a good play. But who could be a good play? I think Barton could be a good play if he's bad.
I don't know how much. Yeah, I guess if they give him the full run, that's true.
I have to get a little news on that, but
I love it.
It could be a sweet little pivot off of Porter.
I don't even know how much of a pivot that's going to be. I don't know. Feels like a crowded situation you're dealing with in Denver all of a sudden and against a really slow team.
That's true.
Not a Barton kind of a game, but you never know with that guy. He'll.
Okay.
But I mean, I'm open to it. Sort of a 10%. I think it's mostly going to be Osman for me. The more I look at this position.
Okay.
I will have some payload in 2 spots and play a little Josh Hart with him because again I like that game environment. And I mean, look, Danny Green is 35. He's minimum. I'm sure I would call him more of a placeholder guy. Maybe if we find something better later on. The other guys, it's not. Gallinari is 4,600. There's a lot of guys who you could sort of take shots on in these lower ranges. And I'm trying to figure out if there's anybody I actually really want to pay up for. I think you
might want to pay up for Siakam, no?
Yeah, but I just am afraid that too many people are going to do that, and this price is not and you could pay up for Jalen. But yeah, I don't love the spend ups. I mean, what's his name is fine. Ingram, like, there's just nobody I'm really excited about.
I would like to announce who I'm not too particularly sold on. Just I'll have it. I'll just throw it out there. I'm not exactly sold on a chalky Chetty Osman.
Give me the reasoning.
I don't know. I just every time I play him, he scores 20 when he's chalky like that. Except for the last time, obviously.
I honestly don't think he's missed once in this situation.
So? Okay.
No, I really don't. I think if you look at this specific team without Nance, without Drummond.
Yeah, I guess so.
And you do have the thing is you do have Sexton and Garland there now. So it's not like he's running point Osman like he was before.
That's true.
But he's just so active on the court. And
yeah, okay.
I mean, I don't know. If you have a pivot for him, I understand. I just don't really have a guy who.
My pivot was going to be paying up at both spots.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, that is interesting.
I'm just like something like Middleton and Siakam or something like that. I don't know.
Okay. I can get by. You know me on Fanduel. I think it's so much about construction. It really is. Maybe even leave your boy Kawhi in there. Who knows? All right. Power forward. What are we doing?
Jermichael Green still 4,200.
Yep.
But I think as much as I talk about blowout risk or whatever, I think Giannis is. I mean, there's no points coming out of this position, right?
I don't see a whole lot of them.
You know what I mean? I think you just kind of play him. And then what else is there? I mean, like if you don't play him, then you're struggling with Jeremy Grant again. So I guess Giannis and Jermichael Green, I suppose those would be my two. Or if you want, you could play. You want to play JaVale McGee? Beats me. Or Jared Vanderbilt. So okay, Giannis, Jermichael Green, Jeremy Grant.
I think we forgot to talk about Jayden McDaniels twice now.
Oh.
And we should be playing Jayden McDaniels. I don't know.
Really? Okay.
He started the last game. You know that, right? He played 38 minutes. Like, what is going on? Let me go back to my DraftKings build for a second because
I gotta get some updates.
Did they like make him like 5K or no? I'm lost a little bit on this. To be honest, I don't understand why these projections are where they are. We were playing this guy off the bench
across the board too. Everybody's got him at like 18 fantasy points or something.
Yeah, I know, but and they all have him probably in the 20 odd minute range. Now he played 37 minutes. That means he played 32 in regulation. Now it's maybe he doesn't start today. Maybe that's what the risk is. But we should know about that. Well, yeah. We'll know about it before whatever 7:30 Eastern. When is that game? 8 Eastern? Yeah, 8 Eastern. Oh no, 9 Eastern. Shit. That's unfortunate. But I just think like I don't understand. Like this is finally the spot. It's not great. Like he's going to be huge production per minute, but like he's 3,300. He's going to play, and he actually might be. He's got that kind of game where he could. So I like him a little bit on both sides actually, and then I think you go Giannis and a combination of Zion and McDaniels, Grant will be my next thing. I think Grant is probably better over here because the lack of points from the position. At some point, I want to know when they get Brandon Clark's minutes back because I would love to be playing Brandon Clark. I don't understand what's happening exactly, and they're getting crushed, and he's been awesome in the minutes he's played. So why don't play Brandon Clark? I don't know. That's what I would do. But I guess maybe there is more injury stuff than I'm aware of. I thought that he should have been better by now. But yeah, man, this is a fill-in last position for me, other than maybe Giannis.
What about center? I think you play Hernan Gomez here too.
I do too, but I don't think it's as much of you need to.
No.
Not sure the savings do enough for you as we just went through some kind of uglyish positions. And Jokic and Embiid are actually even cheaper over here, especially when you account for the whole salary. So I'd probably be more inclined to do something like that.
Play Jokic, you mean?
Play Jokic or Embiid. I have them right now ranked about the same. I also like DeAndre Ayton. I know he's been killing us, guys. He's really a tournament play in general, but he's playing minutes. I don't know why his production is so low, but he's got the 50, 60s in him. It's just they don't come very often. I don't know. It's frustrating, but I'm willing to take another shot there. And as always, like I'm gonna take shots on Capela, even though he's higher priced over here. than he is on DraftKings. Yeah, it's basically where I'm at. And Towns. We forgot about Towns.
Yep.
Towns is the other one who I put up there with those guys.
All right.
I think we did it.
So we're good. So just so you guys know a little bit of update, I did I uploaded to the YouTube channel, but I'll drop it in the Discord too. I did a little MMA thing for tomorrow.
Nice.
Just again, I'm not making a big deal of it, but again, just the few people that were into it, like really liked it. So I'm just gonna throw it in the Discord, and then we'll play tomorrow by ear. If we're around, we'll do something. If not, you're on your own, and we'll see.
All right, guys, sounds good to me. Hey, Sheets, good luck, man. Let's talk. We'll talk a little. We'll talk this afternoon, but we'll have a little mini golf sweat during our evening show.
Yeah. So it seems right now. So Xander, as we expected, he's doing fine. He's -2 now.
Oh,
But Answer is even with.
Oh, that's great. That's not bad.
Sure. With
Right
15,
now,
with four holes to go, and so.
4 holes to go. That's great. Right now, I've got the cut line at 62% that it's +1, 25% that it's even, and 12.5% that it's +2.
So yeah, I just got to hold it even. That's the thing.
Right, exactly.
And I told you, Answer's got all kinds of variants floating around right now. So
did anybody play Tyler McCumber? I didn't play him, but did anybody else? Like, I mean, he's.
I did not.
He's just on an absolute tear today.
I did not, and I'll tell you this. I'm a little more concerned for Scheffler making the cut. He's -2. Come on, just hold on.
Oh no! Come on, he's not going to shoot 3 over in the next. I hope not.
No, I hope not.
Oh, my other guy's coming up, Russell Henley too.
Nice. I have. So I didn't look at this. So hold on, let me just see how bad I'm doing, because I stopped looking at the Fanduel Monster. Let me just see where I'm at this.
Battling back. Oh, you're battling back. You're not far off there.
Let me always take a look, because I did have Henley in that one. So let's just see. That's Scheffler. Answer.
Oh, looking good.
All right, so Morikawa. So we need Morikawa. Okay.
Morikawa.
And Henley's the nuts. Okay, beautiful.
Morikawa had a nice day out of Matsuyama.
Yep.
All right, guys. Hey, good luck to everyone out there. We will see you at 6 Eastern.